This episode brought to you by the Best of Big Sky Awards. Nominations are November 10th through 14th, and voting takes place November 17th through 21st at BigSkiesBest.com. Vote for your favorite businesses, people, and dogs today. We're with Dr. Brock Tessman here. He is the 13th president at the Montana State University, most recently serving as the president of Northern Michigan University. He's from Detroit, but his ancestors were Montana homesteaders, so he's cool, okay? Thank you very much for joining us on Outlaw Beat.
Joe, Michelle, thanks for having me.
Of course, we're so glad you're here. So you have worked at University of Montana before, but you are a Bobcat.
I thought we agreed that we weren't going to talk about that.
All right, we're bringing it up just as once.
Yeah, no, that's right.
So how long did it take you in your short tenure as MSU president to start hating the Grizz?
Oh, well in advance of my arrival back here, and hate's a strong word. I want to be, careful with that. But we
loathing.
were, a lot
anti-Grizz.
Hate and loathing in Bozeman.
Anti-Grizz.
I mean, we're a whole family is all in on the Bobcats. I mean, it won't be lost on a lot of of viewers, listeners. We have a little game coming up. Football is on November 22nd, and so I've got an 8-year-old daughter, Leona, and she's pretty competitive as well. She said, "Dad, I know we're going up for the game. But if we sit with the Bobcats, you got to keep me in the middle of the Bobcats, because if I sit on the edge next to the Grizzlies fans, there's going to be a fight."
Oh my
This is my
God.
8-year-old, and so so in our family, the competitive streak runs pretty deep. So we're all blue and gold all the time, and
Good.
Of course, that's all in good nature, and we lift each other up. I think we're be kind of serious for a second. Both universities are better when we're fighting hard and competing. It's kind of an iron sharpens iron mentality. So
Absolutely.
I like that.
Yeah. I tell my kids, I'm like, pick friends that lift you up, that can, that you feel like you need to compete with,
But
going back and forth.
We still want to keep the Great Divide
Trophy, right?
100%.
Okay, on this side of the state.
100%. Yeah. No, we, that's important to me personally. I'll tell you, it's important to our students, our faculty. I think it's important to the community and so much of the state. And, I said it a couple of times. Athletics is important, not just for what happens on the field, but it's like this lesson about what's possible in life. And I think to have a student attend a Bobcats game and sit there and look at what happens on the field and be like, you know what? Like maybe I can make it through this engineering degree, or maybe I can try and get that summer internship. I'm not joking. I mean, I think I was a track guy. I ran track in college and a little bit afterwards. And I think the lessons I took from that definitely apply in my life now, even though I'm slow as heck now. I can barely make it, on any of the trails around Bozeman. So
We're not racing up Pete's anytime soon.
Sports are life.
It's humiliating every day, basically. To be a runner in Bozeman is so tough.
Yeah.
I mean, you can't even go outside without getting passed, like I feel like in the first minute.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. Yeah. No, and there's a lot of ultra marathoners. You're like, hey, you want to take a sweet 5-mile run? They're like, how about 50? So it's definitely a competitive atmosphere. Speaking of the competition between Cat and Grizz, does the Can the Grizz food drive take on a new significance right now in our uncertain times?
Yeah. You know what? I think it does. And we're in really close communication with mostly our students. We do have, perhaps some staff, certainly members in the community that we're connected with, that are working through a lot of uncertainty right now. And that situation's kind of evolving every single day. Our hope is that the government shutdown ends. I think that's everyone's hope. But we're pretty plugged in with our students. We've expanded the Bounty of the Bridgers food pantry program. So we've got plenty of staples for our students. But certainly Can the Grizz, I mean, it's a great way to beat the Grizz again, but it's also just a fantastic program, particularly for right now. I mean, we want to be looking out for each other. I think that's what this community does. It's what the MSU campus does.
Yeah.
So
all the more reason to dig deep.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, are you kidding me? Like we got to take it, and I certainly appreciate the fact that it's tough for us to find time and for some of us to find some resources to pull together donations for Can the Grizz. But if you can, I mean, anything you can do. I think starts the 8th, ends on the Cat Grizz Day, and so let's make sure it's not even close.
In it to win it, guys.
Go Cats.
Yeah, let's go Cats.
Let's go back in time a little bit when you were overseeing the 16 campuses in Montana. You had no affiliation with MSU then. What was MSU's reputation?
Oh, that's really good. I'm going to answer that in a real specific way. There's more to the answer, so I don't want this to feel like it's the only way to talk about MSU's reputation. I do think if you step foot off campus here in Bozeman, and certainly if you get out of the Gallatin Valley, there is this notion around the state that the success here at MSU has occurred because of some, like a lucky break along the way, or maybe, the fact that Bozeman and the Gallatin Valley has been growing so rapidly that MSU's kind of ridden the coattails, or truly
Just
maybe
fell into success.
Maybe it's an individual. I mean, and a ton of credit to President Cruzado. She and I are good friends. I'll see her here over the weekend. I'm headed back east, and I'll run into her. So maybe it's a transformational leader, or I'll give a big shout out to Rhonda Russell, who is our director of admissions and ran a great shop. That's not how it was viewed in the office I worked in, but I do think there's a kind of mythology around MSU outside of this area. And not that there's not a lot of great myths on campus, but the success is not because of this mythological force or a lucky break. It's competence, it's dedication, it's continuous improvement. And so I think if there's like a misperception around the state, and I think there might be, it's that somehow there's like a silver bullet solution if some other campus wants to achieve what MSU has achieved. And that's just so far from the truth.
Just go take that MSU pill. And,
and so there's kind of a lot of like, what's our thing going to be that's going to turn things in that same direction as they were turned at MSU, and you want to kind of scream from the rooftops, no, that's like not how it worked, and I think I've learned a little bit more about how the success has come from hard work since being here. And again, I don't want to mislead, the two of you or anyone watching. I don't think that people in Helena or Missoula, for that matter, or anywhere in the state, think it's just dumb luck. But I do think I lacked a little appreciation for just kind of the hard-nosed to the grindstone approach that led to so much success at MSU. That said, I think that MSU is a role model for so many other campuses around the state. And when I was working in Helena, we learned a whole lot from what was happening here on campus. And we were able to deploy that to some other campuses. And I'll tell you, I was impressed because I think the team here at the time also was very open-minded. And if there were things happening in Billings or Havre or Butte or Dillon or Missoula for that matter, this team was always open-minded, because I don't think the team in Bozeman felt like or feels like it has to be our idea or our breakthrough. It's all about doing what's best and adopting best practices to serve the students. And so that kind of humility also leads to improvement.
Always, yeah.
Good attitude.
Yes. So my son wants to be an engineer.
Yes.
Is MSU an engineering school? I come from Auburn, Alabama, and people are like, that's an engineering school, or Cal College, or whatever your ilk says. Is it an engineering school? Yeah, see, now you heard it right there. A research school? Is it a sports school? Like, tell us, what is MSU?
I love that you just asked that question. So here's the thing. This university, you call it the Montana State University. That's a little Big Ten kind of language there. But no, Montana State University is operating at a level now where there are not these false choices between whether we're a STEM school or not, or whether we're an athletics school or not, or research focused or teaching focused. So we've entered a tier of universities where we are all of those things. Yes, we are an engineering school, but oh my gosh, if you meet our dean of our College of Letters and Sciences, or you see the research productivity coming out of our physics department, we're strong across the board. And I think that's important for Montanans to know. The way in which we're sort of defining ourselves is not sort of figuring out, gosh, we do these three things really well, and so that's our method for survival. Again, no credit here. I'm the new guy in town, but the team has earned, the campus has earned the right to say, look, we are now all of those things at once: research, athletics, comprehensive academic programs across the board. That's not hyperbole. Like, I'm not here just kind of talking about vision 25 or 50 years down the road. That is absolutely true. And then I'm going to just keep talking. I'm sorry, it's a little bit of a rambling answer.
Great to hear.
But I want to say something else. The magic, the thing that actually sets us apart from, say, a University of Georgia. I spent 10 years there.
Yeah.
We do all of that with wide open doors. we don't say, look, our method is to kind of raise the ladder so that only the students with the strongest academic track record or the, socioeconomic status, they're the only ones we're going to accept. We do it with wide open doors. Whether you're a Montanan or any student across the country, you want to set foot on our campus, you want to apply yourself and earn an opportunity to achieve success, you can do it at Montana State University.
Right.
And there are very few, if any, universities that can say, yeah, on this end, doors wide open. Y'all come and join us regardless of what your background looks like. But hey, on this end, here's another Rhodes finalist. Here's Research One expenditures.
Yeah.
Here's a breakthrough that's improving national security or agricultural productivity. Oh, by the way, here's a conference championship. Here's maybe a national championship. Doing both those things at once is really tough, and we're doing it at MSU. Yeah. That was a little bit of a hype speech, but I feel that. And it's been so impressive. It's been really an exciting thing to kind of discover and learn more about in these last 3-4 months.
And I know you've really staked your claim on educating Montanans, on giving access to local kids, which is great.
Yeah.
What is the land grant aspect of MSU?
Yeah. So there's 3 parts, but the first part is what you just said. I mean, the number one responsibility that we have is to provide a really high quality, I'll say transformative education to any Montanan. And there's ways to put that. I think you can talk about the sons and daughters of the working class. You can talk about Montanans from all walks of life. But the bottom line is that if you're a Montanan, you have a place at Montana State University. Any land grant, in my view, should pursue that approach. About half the land grants in the country are doing what I kind of explained a minute or two ago, which is they've become really selective, down to maybe a 10% acceptance rate. And that's fine. I personally don't think it's fine, but I respect that that's a choice that they've made. I feel like that runs a bit counter to the land grant mission. So that's number one. Number 2 and 3, super quick, is to make sure that the research our faculty are doing, whether it's creative scholarship, hard science, or whatever, is making a difference in the day-to-day lives of Montanans and Montana communities. So that's ag for us. Certainly a lot of small business breakthroughs on College of Business, that side of things, cybersecurity, homeland security, things that Montanans care about. That's land grant research. Okay. And then the third piece is just making sure we're present in every single community across the state. And you two probably both know about our extension offices, 56 counties across the state, a team of people in every single county in Montana. They wake up in the morning and think, what can I do in order to serve my community? And like on Monday, it could be mosquito control. And on Tuesday, it could be putting on an artificial intelligence kind of proficiency workshop. It's an amazing thing.
There have to be a couple counties out there that have very few people.
There are, yeah, and we have bigger teams and smaller teams. I'm really excited. I think we're beginning to launch a new strategic planning process. I suspect, we'll see how it plays out. I suspect that MSU Extension is going to have a real prominent role in the next strategic plan, and I think that we can show the rest of the country, how to take the next step with Extension and do even more for our most rural and remote communities.
Sounds good.
Thank you.
Like it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, as a Montanan, I like that. So you have wanted to be a university president since middle school. I mean, as a middle school teacher, I'm wondering, how did you know?
That makes me sound a bit maniacal. I'm not sure if I know that. But yeah.
Is that true?
Yeah.
As a middle schooler, you wrote an essay saying that you wanted to be a university president.
So that is really an interesting. So kind of, yeah. I discovered this when I moved to the University of Georgia to be just a assistant professor. I had my first tenure track job. Kind of felt like, wow, I've made it. I was also the de facto, and I still am, the kind of family archivist. I have all of our family stuff from growing up. So part of that is all the old school stuff that my mom and dad saved for my sister and I. And I was unpacking boxes in Georgia. This is like 2005 or something. And I was going through the boxes, and there was this essay. It must have been, I think it was earlier than middle school, like 5th or 6th grade. And it was a what do I want to be when I grow up kind of essay. And there were 2 things on it. It was foreign policy advisor or university president. I'm like, who is this kid? How did you not get beat up so bad when you were in? But and so the
really kissing up to a teacher, probably.
Yeah, probably, right?
Yeah.
Probably.
I wanted to be Lily Love, a famous singer. I wanted to change my name to Lily Love at that age.
I wanted to be a podcast host.
Ready?
That would have been amazing. But the funny thing is, I forgot about it. Like I actually, if you would have asked me in 2012 what I wanted to be, I would have said something else, not a university president. I was really happy as a professor. Might have thought I got into sort of national level work in foreign policy. That was my area of research, but so things took a weird roundabout turn. But when I saw that, I remember thinking, well, that's kind of funny. And then when I became a university president, I remembered the moment of seeing that piece of paper and being like, wow, maybe you knew yourself better than you thought.
You did. You actually vision boarded.
I guess
like
so.
as a child, you just put it together. You manifested your career.
But
as a
genius of you. Little fifth grader or whatever, salary higher than President of America, right?
Oh,
Good
yeah,
for
there
you.
you go.
What is the most important thing that a university president does? Is it fundraising? Is it administrative? Is it hiring personnel?
Yeah. 3 real quick kind of lightning round kind of reactions to that. I think almost in any leadership role, the most important thing you do is to build and nurture the team that's around you. So I say this with no self-deprecating kind of moment here, but the people who get the work done are sort of the folks who are on our leadership team, and then the folks who report to them. My job is to build the team, think about chemistry. Do we have any sort of missing perspectives or gaps in that leadership team? So that's one thing. Another thing is to stay grounded, and I like to spend as much time as possible out and about talking to students and faculty, and having conversations like this. I'll learn a lot from this conversation, and I think it's real easy because my calendar, my Outlook calendar is just this death mess of blue meetings and stuff. But so it's real easy when you're in that situation to just sit in the office and, try and catch up on the, 1,800 unread emails you have in your inbox. But I think another job for a good leader is to make sure you get out and you're sort of listening to people who are your end users. Right. And I don't want to, our students are not customers, they're not clients, but they're not just students either. We really need to meet their needs. That's an important piece of what we do. So you got to listen to the students, listen to the faculty and the staff. And then the cool thing about having a family here is that just naturally we like to be out and about. And so that's another way of being grounded as well. So those just, I guess, 2 ways to think about it. One is the team building. The other one is, is being grounded. The last one, I'm doing a lousy job of this, is being sort of rested and refreshed so that in the moment, which is often unscripted, that a judgment call needs to be made, a tough decision needs to be made, that you're in the best possible decision to make that important call. Because it's not often that it has to be made in a split second, but oftentimes it's a phone call that comes and you're on the phone and it's kind of a live action moment. You have to make a call one way or the other. So leaders, I think, need to be well positioned for those moments. I don't know, the fire hose, landing here, getting the family settled. I feel like I'm spread a little thin for that. So I'm working on it.
Okay.
Yeah, I understand that as a teacher. I completely get the rest and refreshed and lack thereof.
I know.
So our university system across the country is a little bit under threat. How do you feel like you as a new president are navigating that?
Yeah, it's a tough spot to be in right now.
Yeah.
We have, even beyond just this particular moment, which does have very specific challenges. We just talked about SNAP benefits and whatnot. But beyond this particular moment, what we've seen is some kind of disconnect between, many, many, many Americans, and Montanans for sure, but you asked about the national scene. Yeah. Many Americans, and like why college, what the value of a college education is. And one way to think about that, 15 years ago in Montana, 70% of high school graduates said, my next step is a college education. Not at MSU specifically, but just somewhere, out of state, in-state, private, public, whatever. And, 15 years later, actually a little less, like 13 years later, we're closer to 50%. Okay. Wow. Now, I'm not somebody, I don't think everyone needs to go to college to have a meaningful, productive, like financially successful life, like far from it. But when you see such a protracted and significant downturn, you think, all right, we've lost connection with what people value in a college education. And I don't know, I hesitate to think that that's happened to us. Yeah. I think in some cases, higher education has refused to adapt and adjust as much as maybe we should. And people have kind of noticed that over the time. They're like, well, okay, if you want to take your ball and go home and not make the changes we're asking you to make, then we'll do the same thing with our, credit hours and tuition dollars and state support.
Yeah.
It's more complex than that. But I think it's a really challenging time for higher ed. Yeah. One of the reasons Montana State, I think, has been successful, and one of the reasons that I was really personally attracted to this opportunity is I don't think that that's been MSU's story. And if you walk around our campus and talk to 100 students, you're going to get a lot of different perspectives on our campus. It's not sort of swung off in one direction or another. Absolutely. I think if you look at the work our faculty are doing, people can relate to a lot of the research that they're doing. It's easy to say, oh, that's a professor teaching 2 or 3 classes a semester. That sounds like an easy gig. Well, it's not, right? Mm-hmm. I mean, they're in the classroom, they're teaching, holding office hours, mentoring their students. And oh, by the way, more often than not, they're nationally prominent researchers in an area where even someone like me can say, oh yeah, I get why quantum computing has the potential to absolutely transform, the way the world works.
Our neighbor does that.
Oh, and like confession, I don't actually fully understand quantum computing.
Me either.
But I kind of get
challenges
it.
There.
I kind of get it. And so, and I think our job is to serve our students and to serve our state. And again, all credit to people who've come before me and the team that sort of makes the university run. We've done a good job of staying connected to all parts of Montana, economic sectors, rural, increasingly urban like Bozeman and Missoula and Billings. And I think that's been a huge part of the success. And so when people ask about how things are going, for higher ed, we have to keep earning this, I guess, earning this just period. But I would say that what's happening at MSU has kind of been an exception to what's happening in most other institutions across the country. And so that, I think, has been beneficial for us.
Right.
MSU is busting at the seams. Enrollment, all of the different developments on campus. As new president, are you just looking to maintain that momentum? Do you want to supercharge it? Do you want to take it in a different direction?
Yeah, a little bit of 2 and 3. Definitely not maintaining momentum. So much has changed, especially. The first time I stepped foot on campus was in 2014, right? Not long ago at all. But just in that 11 years, like I remember walking around MSU's campus. Kristen and I were living in Georgia at the time. We were thinking about, well, it'd be really wonderful to get back out west. I'd been to Montana a couple of times before and was trying to kind of picture on it. And we walked around campus and it looks nothing like it does today. And for people who've been here longer and can say, oh, well, 25 years ago or 50 years ago, it's been transformed. And the student numbers are up, the faculty achievements are up. There's this temptation to take our foot off the gas a little bit. And I'm going to tell you, that'd be the worst thing that we can do. And, if anything, it would make everyone's life much more difficult. It's not as if maintaining momentum is harder. No, what's hard is slowing down and then trying to speed back up again. And so that's actually the biggest challenge, I think, for me. It's a great role to step into with all of this positive momentum. Mm-hmm. There's also a lot of pressure and complexity in figuring out, okay, well, how do you accelerate off of this? Yeah. And in particular, I said it's a little bit of 2 and 3. Your third point was like, do something entirely different. You can't run the institution in exactly the same direction for decades and decades.
Yeah.
It's been, we had a really terrific kind of 12 to 15 year trajectory. I do say this, if I'm being honest here, I think the campus is ready for a little bit of a new direction. And that's not anything disparaging about everything that was achieved. It's just that you need a refresh. And that's part of the reason we're beginning this strategic planning process. And it's going to be this process where, we're more than usual, we're going to bring people into the process and kind of get inputs, not just from my cabinet or the Board of Regents, but from people who are doing the work, across the table like this, from our students, faculty who are working at the department level, and then community members as well. I mean, that, so goes, the Gallatin Valley and the state of Montana, so goes Montana State University. We cannot be successful unless we're just kind of hand in glove with the community and the state.
Yeah, like offering middle school science teachers free doctorates. I've heard that's a great
Did
direction
you
to go in.
Yeah, I thought I sent you something. Yeah. You didn't get that yet?
There's a
No,
coupon.
haven't gotten the memo.
Coupon in the mail.
Groupon. Wow, I have not heard a Groupon reference in a
Promo
while.
code.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So
But you also have your challenges. It's not all gravy. There have been Title IX investigations, discrimination, civil rights. To what extent is that your problem at your feet now?
I mean, I'm the president of Montana State University, so I mean, all of that comes along with the gig. I mean, I continue to learn more about the past. I mean, at some point, you want to say, "Gosh, this is before my time." But in reality, I mean, things that have an impact on our students or our faculty and staff, things that have kind of left an impact on the community or the state, that's still there, right? And so I can say this very clearly. I'm really proud of the way this university has functioned, not just over the last 12 to 15 years that I keep referencing, but I think the university has navigated some really challenging circumstances, kind of starting during COVID. That was really, I mean, you're a teacher, you understand trying to navigate the balance between, keeping learning alive and keeping development occurring and also keeping kids safe or, students at MSU safe. The university navigated that. And then, I mean, there's been some high profile events that have been well covered. I'm not going to kind of dive into them here. And I think the university has managed it well, and there'll be more. We have 17,000 plus students on our campus. We have, depending on how you count it, 3,000 or so people working on campus. Our employees and our students intersect with the community in all sorts of different ways. And so things are going to happen, and our job is to manage those things as best we can as they pop up, and most importantly, try and create the conditions so that we don't have more of that pop up than is necessary.
And that's why you're staying fresh.
Yeah, I'm trying to. Those are the moments where there are often judgment calls that are made. And, I think there are a lot of cross pressures on universities these days. I mean, I don't want to amplify our importance, but there are a lot of people who are trying to either portray us in a certain way or trying to egg us on to take a certain position on this or that. And, our job at the end of the day is to educate students, conduct research, and engage communities in a way that makes a difference for Montanans. And the more we get pulled in different directions around specific issues, especially if they're politicized, the more we lose track of that core mission. And it's really frustrating for a student group, or for some of our faculty, if in the moment I am not, or the university is not saying what they think we should be saying, but that discipline and just keeping things, headed right down that kind of educational track. What are we doing to teach our students today? How are things going in the research lab? We've got to keep our eye on the ball. And sometimes we do a great job, sometimes we don't / I don't do a great job, but that's got to be the kind of watchword. And I think that's how you end up better off in the long run.
Okay. No further questions. We're gonna do the game now.
Okay.
The horseplay today is called Suggestion Brox. All right. According to my laborious research, AI, you were the only current university president named Brock. Did you know that?
No.
Isn't that exciting?
Wow.
Congratulations.
AI is good for lots of things.
Brock Blomberg was formerly president of Ursinus College outside Philly, and there is a Brock University in Ontario, Canada.
I didn't know that.
If you work there one day, that'd be something.
Brock.
That'd be cool.
Brock for Brock.
Me too.
And so we're gonna pitch you some suggestions of crowdsourced from the community. While we do that, though, I saw a interview you did at Northern Michigan.
Yeah.
It was a Hot Ones style interview. You handled yourself despite all
has no
the
water.
crazy.
Highly edited.
You ate a lot of very hot sauce.
Yeah.
Congratulations, you were unfazed.
Yeah.
So I brought in some homemade hot sauces for you to try.
I added a lot of carrot to the ghost pepper.
We
so
have
like
made
it is
a
milder.
Fresno chili
Okay.
hot sauce and a ghost pepper
Okay.
hot sauce. And my 16-year-old insisted on making. My mother grew the ghost peppers, incidentally.
All right, Joe.
I
You're
had
getting
to
off
throw
the
that in
rails here.
there.
Okay, yes.
Oh, score some points with Mom. Everyone has
So we're gonna
opportunity
we're gonna try the hot sauces while the suggestions fly. So
Okay.
have as much
Okay.
or as
Yeah.
little
I'm
as you like.
You could just send some my Frito landscape.
Yep. I suggest starting with the Fresno because the ghost is something else. It's hot. All right.
I might stick with the Fresno. Fresno? What's the question?
Flavor's so good. All right, you want to start with the first
All right.
suggestion, Michelle?
It's 1,000
That's
degrees.
really good.
Right?
Yeah.
Oh, where's your
Fresno's
water? I was
so
going to hide
good.
your water.
Oh, I have it
Dang
right
it.
here.
I was just going to hide it from you.
So you
It's
say this is
1,000
hot. Yeah, sorry. Yeah.
The ghost
1,000
is hot.
degrees in Brick Breeden during concerts. Could we crack a window in there?
Wait, what? Oh, it's 1,000.
That's
so
a
hot.
suggestion.
It is so hot. Last concert we went to, I was like, oh.
Going big,
I went to
big
Billy
ghost pepper.
Strings there.
We were there.
And it was, first of all, like nothing else. I'd never
Wow.
been to another Billy Strings concert. And can we crack a window? We get air flowing through there. I have to tell you, and I shouldn't admit this, right? I should just dig in and be like, it's not hot in there. I don't know what you're talking about. It's pretty steamy.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
And then people that probably chose not to wear deodorant that night were there.
Oh, at Billy Strings, you think so?
I can confirm that definitely
Is that what the
happened.
smell
That
was?
a fun
Because
show.
I'm not sure that was what the smell was.
All right, second
often.
suggestion, Brock's item. Hasn't the time come to take our hockey program from club to college team?
I feel like this is like a Northern Michigan thing because you know, at Northern Michigan, hockey is king there, and so we've got a fantastic hockey team.
We really
there,
do.
club team. I was talking to the Northern Michigan coach about how much he recruits out in this part of the country. So, listen, we got a few sports we're thinking about adding. All of them require significant investments. I can feel Leon Costello, our athletic director, his eyes boring through the camera right now. So
Right. We
but
go way back
hockey's
with
on
Leon.
hockey's on my radar, and our family loves watching hockey, and I think there's huge demand in the community, and I've seen it actually just watching some of the games. So
Absolutely.
it's on a list
All right,
somewhere.
good.
Yeah.
It should be.
All right.
This is very good, by the way.
They're both
Isn't
good,
that?
aren't
Yeah,
they?
the ghost pepper has just a nice flavor to it. I
I
put
thought you
so
said
many
this was going
carrots
to be
in there.
hot.
I put like
It's got a-
15 carrots in there.
it's got a pretty
'Cause
good
it
kick,
was,
though.
Before we did that, it was like nobody could have it. Nobody could have it without like dumping milk
All right,
in their mouth.
let's
Okay,
keep going.
fine. The professors are the lifeblood of the university, and yet they have to pay to park and use the gym facility. So sorry, we've heard this from a few people. Should we throw them a bone here? Tell me more. Can't believe I'm asking this.
So the wellness, good stuff. The wellness center, the wellness facility, students pay a fee
Right.
to use that, and so I think that's an important thing for everybody to know. And so I know there are conversations around fee-paying options for others in the community. Parking is so difficult.
Limited.
It's so limited, and it's more limited than usual right now. I mean, the price
Yeah.
you pay for all of the construction and all that is that there are disruptions all
Right.
over campus. I'll be real. It's not going to be solved when the construction on some of the current facilities stops. First of all, there's going to be more construction, which I'm excited about. I'll come back and talk about some of that another time.
Yeah.
And second of all, I mean, just the demand is super high. And so that's not the first time I've heard
Yeah.
free parking passes.
Very
I
cool.
do think that there are lots of groups and people who would have a claim on free parking.
Yeah,
on
we're
campus,
teachers.
so.
We like free stuff.
Yeah,
I mean, we're like
no.
pastors of the community kind of thing. We're
So
like,
I get that one. That's one where, you can sit across the table from somebody and understand how that. I feel like that's kind of maybe a job benefit or something. But we have to work out the numbers. I'll tell you, parking does not make money.
No.
We scratch through. It's more expensive. Do you know how much a parking garage? I don't know. It's like $50,000 to $70,000 a spot.
To build.
Because I've gotten a lot of people ask me, why don't we build another parking garage? That's so. I mean, if you wanted
That's crazy.
1,000 space parking garage, let's say a 500 space parking garage, which is not giant, that's $35 million right there. And if I have $35 million to spend, I would rather spend it on an academic building.
Yeah.
Or, so.
makes sense.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
thank you for that.
Fair
That's
question, though. I mean, fair
and good
question.
explanation.
I promise it's the only parking suggestion that we
No.
have here. How about this one? Rendezvous Dining Hall is currently closed on Sundays, forcing students to instead eat at the reportedly inferior Wilson Hall. Why not keep Rendezvous open all week, or at least shift the off day to Monday?
This is mainly for our family. We're asking.
No comment.
I would not agree that Miller's. I think you're talking about Miller's
sorry, not
inferior.
Wilson.
Did you say Wilson? I was like, what are you
Wilson,
saying, Wilson?
sorry.
Wilson, you get lost in there. I don't know you find any food in Wilson, but
Yeah.
First of all, yeah, I don't know that Miller is inferior. Second of all, remember I talked about MSU and the success being, hard work, analysis, kind of continuous improvement. In order to keep prices low, as reasonable as possible, we got to be as efficient as possible. So I know they think about staffing and production and food distribution and whatnot. Sorry to disappoint your family.
Let us know.
Full faith that crew over in dining services has, of course, always like access and availability in mind, but that they're doing their best to make sure that we're not wasting food or having more people work than necessary.
Yeah.
Truly, they're a business. I don't know if you know. So auxiliaries, residence halls, or dining halls, parking, they have to make it pencil out at the end of the day. Like they don't get subsidies or anything like that.
They have to be profitable.
They have to imagine that. They don't have to be profitable. They have to pencil it out.
Right.
In fact, we're a they're not making money,
right.
but they need to have some money to replace, whatever, chiller on the roof or, a vent fan or a new stove or range. So they run a business.
They can't lose money.
They can't lose money.
All right.
It is so much better than it was when I first started at MSU, Holy moly.
I'm not surprised to hear that. We had a Celebrate Ag Week is this week. And so we had a dinner at Rendezvous last night. Our whole family was there. I feel like the kids want to go there like every night.
That's our son's favorite
my
place
wife
to
was
eat.
like, I think feeling like her feelings were hurt because the kids were like, this would be amazing every night. Yeah. So
we're taking Wallace there tonight because that was when he came to sit in the
Miller's
office with
in
us.
fear. I don't know about that.
It's not.
I use the word reportedly because I agree with you. I don't think it's inferior.
Yeah,
but
Joe
some
likes
people
it just
do.
the same.
All right, keep going.
Okay, fine. So excuse me.
We gotta
the
blow
cannon
through
every
these.
time the football scores is so loud. What if we went with a smaller caliber?
That seems like it defeats the purpose.
I agree. That's Joe. He's got puppy ears.
It makes me jump out of my skin.
It does. I kind of want to fire that cannon.
I have a heart attack every time.
Okay.
All right. The sub has a bowling alley and pool tables, but no beer taps.
Be a bad
This
idea.
is Bozeman. Why in the world doesn't the sub have a pub?
It's
Have you met 18 and 19?
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Yeah, exactly.
This is for me. This is
I
for
don't
the
have-
me's in the community.
yeah,
I
that
don't
would
have
be a
huge
terrible
hang-up on
idea.
that. I think we try and stay a little bit separated from
Okay.
the beer culture.
The
And I have
Molly
to say,
Brown up the road.
you know what? A pub. I think about all the great breweries we have in Bozeman. That's a little different than the kind of awful scenes that people imagine with binge drinking and whatnot.
Right.
So I don't pretend that the pub would be the source of all of the misbehavior. But I do think we got to send a clear message, which is that, that's not our business.
Sure.
Yeah.
There was a movement 10,
10,
15 years ago. It nearly happened, so
It was a dumb
never
movement.
know.
It was a dumb movement.
Never say
I mean,
never.
my God.
All
Okay,
right,
so
keep going.
out-of-state students don't feel adequately prepared for the weather and the cost of living in Bozeman. Should we ease them in by having them spend their first semester in a biodome, perhaps, or maybe a mandatory how-to Montana class?
It's Pauly Shore, right? Is Biodome? Was he in
Biodome,
Yeah.
Pledge Dome.
Yeah.
What was the last part?
Should we have a mandatory how-to Montana
How to
class?
Montana? That's not a bad idea. I mean, we had a lot of non-resident students, which
Yeah.
another follow-up conversation someday. Talk about what that does for Montana and all that.
Yeah.
Okay, no.
I think that would be a great idea. But
I think some kind of an orientation. So we have great orientation. It's still in person. We don't do the online thing. It's really, really impactful. I do think, upon arrival around move-in, some experience that connects them to the natural setting and also like the community, and then a little bit of like how to adulting. And I don't say that in a condescending way. A lot of our students have gone through a lot more than I've ever gone through. It's not that. It's just that for a lot of our students, this is kind of their first time flying solo. And so whether it's financial literacy or sleep management, I could take a lesson there as well. A little bit of how to stay warm, how to not, let's not go truck off into the Gallatin Range without a plan and notification. I think that could be good. Yeah.
Something like that. And listen,
Good.
I moved here from Alabama with no experience for this, and you just learn. You just how to adult very fast.
I guess
and you
so.
figure it all out. Your friends tell you, "Hey, that's a bad idea," but also some nights you may be really cold sleeping in your car up in the canyon.
We've had tough things happen over the years, years past. And, So your point's a good one. And, you can say it's a dry cold. It still is pretty darn cold in the middle of winter. So
absolutely.
Yeah, I get that.
All right. The good people of Bozeman who live near campus are endlessly patient. So as a thank you to them, should we crack down on unlicensed frat houses?
Unlicensed frat houses. Do
I
those
did not
exist?
know. Are you talking about the people that live behind us?
Doesn't matter.
These seem all family centric. These are all, you just wrote this list out yourself.
He just was mad last night.
We had a great meeting actually, and by we had a few folks from MSU go to like a neighborhood council. There's a University Neighbors Association meeting last week. Got a lot of feedback. I mean, some pretty pointed feedback. Our fraternities and our sororities. Our fraternities, I think have an impact on their neighborhoods. They understand that we're always working to keep them as inbounds as possible, recognizing that, there's an environment and an energy there that's, we wouldn't want to eliminate it. I mean, there's a lot of kind of, positivity, enthusiasm, but, I think our goal always to be the best possible neighbor that we can be. So what I'd like for us to do is an idea. Our Dean of Students, Matt Kyrus, if you've met Matt along the way, terrific guy. And he said, we should make this a regular deal where we invite our neighbors onto campus. We don't sort of wait for them to ask us to come to a meeting. Instead, we invite them and hear about what we can be doing better and things that are going well. Some of the things that they'd like to do, we won't be able to control or change, but some of the things we can.
Yeah.
So
the neighborhood and the campus are so intertwined.
They are. Yeah, they really are, which is a beautiful thing.
I think
It's
it's
really
great.
neat.
I grew up in Auburn, like that. That's a huge part of our community.
Yeah.
I loved walking to football games and like intermingling with the students and having those moments. Like it, I don't know, it makes the community that much more special.
Like I said, I crowdsourced these. These are not all coming from me.
Yeah.
We're almost done. There's only one more.
It's quite a crowd.
Okay, let's put paper towel dispensers in bathrooms. Hand blowers are disgusting. Oh, that's something I say.
Are they? Tell me about that. Why are they disgusting?
Sorry, it blows germs everywhere.
Was that a thing?
Sorry, as somebody that, I studied microbiology. But also, yes. So it actually recycles all the germs in the bathroom and just blows them onto your hands.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
I told you that I was going to learn something.
Yeah, you've learned about the sour things, and now this.
And I get anytime you're using something, a paper product, I get the environmental impact, but I will tell you, I'm a towel
Always.
person myself.
Absolutely.
Mhm.
Okay.
And I know that environmentally it's not the best, but we'll find some stuff.
Your turn for suggestion, Brox. You get to completely reimagine campus. How would you change it, building it up from the studs?
Oh my gosh. Okay. Wow. So one thing I would do if I could kind of wave a magic wand is to bring our students to the center of the campus. Like if you could rebuild a campus around the residence halls so that the students were not kind of trekking in from a distance, I think that'd be pretty amazing. I also think, and not to return to the dreaded parking kind of question, if you could redesign campus so that, it was compact and you could get from any number of kind of peripheral parking lots to the big instructional buildings or offices or whatnot with an easy walk, that would solve a lot of problems as well. I think our campus is beautiful. I mean, that's kind of an interesting question to spring on me. We're building things all the time, so the campus is going to change. One thing that's going to happen, it's not sort of a fantasy or something that requires rebuilding from the studs. Some of the street crossings are going to be improved. Okay. So Kagi, 11th, College, as we build, especially 11th and Kagi, we're going to have an opportunity to create what I think is a safer and probably sort of more attractive crossing environment. I drive up 11th all the time, and I just it's a little bit too Froggerish.
It is, Sometimes I'm like, whoa, where'd that biker come from?
You better not be in a hurry.
Yeah, now you gotta go slow.
I'll leave you with this vision if you think about sort of what's happening. This doesn't require tearing down anything on campus, but imagine kind of if you stand in the middle of Kagi, don't do it, but if you could, I think 10 years from now, you're standing in the middle of Kagi and you can look kind of to the northwest and you've got, maybe an updated brick, a field house that's fantastic. You're looking forward at hopefully an enhanced and expanded tennis and maybe golf facility. I think there's, always the possibility of something soccer related on the field there. Now you're turning a little bit further to your right. We've got the new hotel up there with restaurants, kind of nightlife activity. Gallatin College in the background, where all of our workforce and 2-year programs are. We have the new Gianforte School of Computing, which is just kind of this mind-blowing place where new ideas are percolating every day. And then you turn a bit further to right. Museum of the Rockies. We're kind of hand in glove with them. It's a different arrangement, but the museum is just this treasure. I mean, we brought our kids down to the museum so many times when we lived in Helena, Missoula, and so many Montanans do that. So imagine kind of a rebuilt and expanded Museum of the Rockies.
Facing onto Keggy, right? That's
opening onto Keggy. You're in it. Yeah, you understand what I'm talking about. And then just kind of complete the turn, and you've got, I think a significantly expanded and enhanced Bobcat Stadium, hopefully with a national championship banner hanging in it.
Or two.
Or two. Yeah, don't be greedy. Come on, man. We'll start with one. And just so the center of campus, I think, moves a little bit south, but all of those things are real big community connections, right? Yeah. I mean, workforce, I mentioned Gallatin College, this public-private partnership with the Vim Hotel, some new athletics facilities that are really important, the Museum of the Rockies, which is definitely community-facing. So you talk about the land grant mission, and you ask me about our campus growing over the years. I think it's going to grow in a way that is so true to the land grant mission. It's going to be really inspiring for everybody.
I can see it all, and not a blow hand dryer in sight.
Just paper towels everywhere. It's all built out of paper towels.
Thank you. Appreciate that. Not great for trees, but whatever.
Dr. Tessman, thank you so much for joining us
Joe,
here on Outlaw B. We kept you entirely too long.
I'm sweating. That was spicy.
Oh yeah, I got a little neck sweat going from that.
It is super tasty. Congrats on making some great hot sauce. Thank you for having me, Joe. Michelle, absolutely.
Thank you.
Yeah, go Cats.
Go Cats.
Go Cats, always.